This is Red Hunt, where ordinary moments flip into something no one really sees coming, like this story. My daughter Nina is 22 years old and got pregnant young with my grandson Tate, who is 8 years old. The father, Derek, who is 23 years old, broke up with her as soon as he found out she was pregnant, claiming he realized he was gay. After Tate was born, neither my daughter nor I wanted Derek around, and we successfully obtained full custody in court because Derek and his parents did not have enough resources to contest it. Derek eventually left us alone and went off to college. My daughter attends a local college, and when she has classes, my wife and I are at work, so my sister and my niece Ashley, who is 21 years old, watch Tate. Last Friday, my wife and I got off work early and went to pick up Tate. When we arrived at my sister's house, I saw a young man smoking and leaning against an unfamiliar car. I initially thought he might be my niece's boyfriend, but he informed me that he was with Derek. I was very upset and stormed into the house, where I found Derek talking to Tate. I yelled at him to leave, and he quickly said goodbye to Tate and left. I sent Tate outside with my wife. I was furious and asked my sister how long this situation had been going on. She told me to calm down, but I insisted on knowing. She revealed that Derek had been coming around for at least the last few years. He had asked her and Ashley to see him, as he and Ashley used to be friends. I began to raise my voice, questioning why they would allow him around after he had abandoned my daughter. Ashley yelled back, saying that Derek could not help being gay and that we were the ones who made him abandon Tate. I told her that he should have thought about that before getting my daughter pregnant. My sister then interjected, stating that Derek only wanted to spend time with his child and that they had not even told Tate he was his father, only that he was Ashley's friend, referred to as D. I told my sister that this would not happen again and left. Afterward, I discussed the situation with my wife. She believes we may have been too harsh on Derek and that I probably should not have yelled at them. Am I the antagonist? No cap, you didn't really do the right thing here, but I get it, you're just trying to protect your grandson. The thing is, your approach kind of blocks a relationship that could really benefit Tate. Derek's been committed, staying involved with the family, even if he hasn't received the proper acknowledgement he deserves. It's rough, honestly, to see you call him an absent father when he's really trying to be there. You and your wife got custody mainly for financial reasons, not because he was unsafe. It feels a bit wrong, you know. I mean, being harsh on him for not being with your daughter anymore. Especially since they were just kids back then. Now, years later, he still wants to be in his son's life, and that says a lot. You really need to think about what happens if something were to happen to you. Is denying Tate a father really protecting him? It's time to reconsider your stance before it's too late. Am I the jerk for calling the police on my roommate for screaming? For context, I am a 19-year-old female with muscular dystrophy. Due to my condition, I cannot own anything valued over $2,000 or I will lose my benefits, so all my belongings are in a trust, including my house. My roommate is a 56-year-old female who has lived with me for about 5 years. She was my mother's best friend, and I considered her to be like a second mother to me. During the time she lived here, my mother took excellent care of her, buying her groceries for the first couple of years and charging only $250 for rent, which she did not strictly enforce. At one point, my roommate went over a year without paying rent. However, once the trust took over, the rent was going to be raised to $516 instead of $250. Since the rent increase, my roommate has been unkind to me and has behaved in a very childish manner. She has thrown temper tantrums and has not communicated her feelings, expecting me to read her mind. Due to my disability, I am unable to do many things independently. One day, I urgently needed to use the bathroom, but she refused to help me, and I ended up lying in bodily fluids for close to an hour. A few weeks later, the trust came to collect medical equipment that I no longer needed so they could sell it. When someone arrived to adjust my shower chair for better use, my roommate told them that the trust had taken the chair. They asked to speak with me, but she sent them away instead of directing them to my room. When I asked her why she did that, she claimed she did not know the chair was still here, so I should not be upset with her. A few minutes later, she returned, yelling at me and calling me disrespectful and ungrateful. I was crying and threatened to call emergency services, to which she responded that I should go ahead. She continued to insult me, saying that I was upset because I could not physically defend myself. I begged her to leave my room, but she refused, insisting that I could not make her. Before she finally left, she told me to piss myself, and then she began slamming doors while continuing to shout insults about my character. Later, she texted my night nurse and a friend who is moving in, stating that she was tired of my behavior and that no one informs her of anything. I decided to call emergency services to document the situation for my safety, and they subsequently contacted Adult Protective Services. I also reached out to her job, as she works for the state as a support coordinator for disabled children. She has not even looked at me in weeks. I did not inform her of my actions because, during a previous argument, she told me not to share anything related to my care with her. I honestly do not believe she has ever cared about me. She made a promise to my mother while she was dying that she would always take the best care of me and ensure nothing happened to me. I feel she's been taking advantage of my mother's trust. I believe she is upset because I am no longer allowing her to take advantage of me, and I will always stand up for myself. On a positive note, she is moving out on Thursday. You're not the cause of this situation. I mean, your roommate is definitely crossing a line here and she's posing a real threat to your safety. It's honestly alarming that she's around disabled kids when she behaves like this. And the fact that she's living there rent-free. Yeah, her response is completely out of line. There's really no excuse for her behavior. Unless there's more to the story that we don't know, she shouldn't be around you or any vulnerable kids at all. When she leaves, consider setting up security cameras and changing the locks. It's definitely better to be safe than sorry. Just to clear things up, was she your roommate or your caregiver? And why is she helping you in such personal ways? That's a huge red flag if she's not being paid to do so. Am I the jerk for kicking my sibling's partner out? I am a 35-year-old male and I share a house with my 32-year-old female sister, whom I will refer to as Sharon. She has been in a relationship with her boyfriend for less than a year. I have never actually spoken to him, and honestly, I do not want to due to the numerous red flags he has presented over time. They have been spending a lot of time together, and while I try to stay out of it, it is not my business. I have noticed that they are always at our house. I go to sleep and he is there, I wake up and he is still there. This makes me feel very uncomfortable in my own home, as he is a stranger to me. Over the course of several weeks, I expressed my feelings briefly. I mentioned that I needed some privacy and that I did not feel comfortable inviting anyone over because they were always there. I asked if they could change things up, spend some time at his place and some time at ours, anything to give me some privacy. I later found out that he is homeless. Apparently, he has a job that pays for rooming on the days he works, which is about 3 days a week. Otherwise, he is a squatter. One evening, when Sharon went to work, I walked to the kitchen and noticed her bedroom light was on, the door was open, and I heard someone in her room. I looked outside and saw that Sharon's car was gone, but her boyfriend's truck was there. At that point, I lost it. I was furious and very uncomfortable that she would leave a stranger alone in the house with me. I walked into her room and a yelling match began. I confronted him and told him to leave my house. He called Sharon and began to manipulate the situation. He claimed that I was kicking and throwing things. There was a doggy gate in her doorway that had been secured by suction cups, and I tripped over it, causing it to come down. There was also a dog bed covering most of the floor, which I almost slipped on. I moved those items to the living room. Despite my requests, he refused to leave and told me that he would do what she said. He opened the backyard door to check on the dogs and left it open, so I shut the door and told him again to get out. When I shut the door, it may have hit his shoulder. He then threatened me by saying, "Hit me again and see what happens," while he was on the phone with Sharon. I did not hit him. When Sharon returned, we had another heated argument. It ended with me telling her that this man had disrespected me in my own home, and I wanted him gone. Eventually, she made him leave. Since that incident, Sharon has accused me of controlling her relationship because she cannot have him over all the time. I have kept my opinions about him to myself and have not interfered in their relationship. I simply want some privacy in my own safe space. So am I in the wrong here? It's a tough situation, but honestly, it sounds like you and your sister really need to set some clear boundaries. Just because you both rent the place doesn't mean her boyfriend gets to take over your space, especially if he's not contributing to the rent. I mean, it's definitely super shady for him to be there all the time without any ground rules in place. If you wanted more privacy, talking to her directly is important instead of letting all that frustration build up. The fact that you've been living together for a while and still feel like strangers. Yeah, that's a bit concerning. Now, when things got heated, it seems like you might have lost your cool a little. It's hard to believe that knocking over things and hitting him with the door was really just an accident. That kind of response could have freaked him out, and it doesn't really justify how you acted. You should have had a calm chat with your sister instead of letting it escalate like that. Communication is key here, and both of you need to figure out how to share that space respectfully. Am I the jerk for wanting my friend to move out even though they haven't found a place yet? I am a 27-year-old female living alone in a small apartment with no bedrooms. About 5 weeks ago, I allowed a friend who is 31 years old and female to stay with me for what was supposed to be 3 weeks. We met last year and kept in touch, but she became very ill, could not work, and lost her home. I agreed to help her get back on her feet. She does not have family nearby and has been estranged from most of them since running away when she was young. However, she has not respected my space or boundaries, and I feel emotionally and mentally drained. She stays on my couch all day, even when I try to work from home. This situation has become so uncomfortable that I have mostly stopped working from home. I had to turn my camera off during meetings because she is often half naked. I have not had a single quiet moment in over a month to recharge. To avoid going home, I have started staying out late or hanging out with friends. I used to invite her to do activities together, but it began to feel like I was expected to entertain her, so I stopped. She does not clean or cook. She sent me half of the rent for the original 3 weeks, but has not contributed since. She has left permanent stains on the counters, which I rent, and despite my efforts to show her where all the cleaning supplies are, she does not use them. She has even called me at work asking how to use the laundry machines in the building and if she really needed to pay or use her own detergent. It felt like she was hoping I would just offer to do it for her. Additionally, she has been filming social media content in my apartment without asking. A friend showed me videos she posted that were clearly filmed in my space. She never asked or mentioned it, and it feels like a violation of my privacy. The most uncomfortable part is how she interacts with me. She casually undresses in front of me, walks around half naked, and calls me terms of endearment such as baby or boo. She touches me while talking, placing her hand on my leg, arm, or cheek, and it feels manipulative. She has openly discussed relying on men for support or housing. I cannot help but feel like she is trying to use those same tactics on me, which makes me very uncomfortable. I have gently asked her about her move-out plans, offered to help, and inquired if she has found a place. She only began to look seriously for a new home recently because I finally told her a lie about my cousin coming to stay, which pushed the issue. She mentioned that she is trying to arrange something but has not provided me with a date. I understand she has been through a lot, is currently without a job, and was seriously ill recently, which makes me feel guilty. However, I also feel completely used in my own space. Am I in the wrong for wanting her to leave by the end of this week, even if she has not found a new place yet? I can't even. Just tell her it's time to go. You've been more than patient, but honestly, 3 weeks is long enough. She knows she's overstayed her welcome, and it's not your job to find her a new place. So give her a firm deadline, like until tomorrow. There's no need to let her mess up your space even more. After she leaves, change the locks to keep things clear. You deserve your home back. It's not about being harsh, it's really about setting boundaries. You're not running a hotel here. Just be straightforward and stick to your plan, okay? Am I the jerk for prioritizing my exam over a friend's birthday party? For context, where I am from, birthday parties are hosted by the person whose birthday it is. This means that the birthday person invites their friends and pays for everything. I mention this because I know in some places it works the opposite way, which might affect how people view this situation. Now on to the actual story. My 15-year-old female best friend was turning 16. She invited me and several of her other friends to celebrate. The celebration had 2 parts. The first was at the arcade at the mall, which is a 10-minute drive from my house, and the second was dinner at a fancy restaurant that is 1 hour out of town. This means 1 hour to drive there, another hour to drive back, plus the time spent eating and celebrating. Here's the thing, I had my finals week in just 2 weeks. These are not casual exams, they are back-to-back exams that determine a significant portion of my grade. My best friend attends a different school and her finals were not until about 3 months later, so she was not stressed. However, I was. I had made it very clear to her in advance multiple times that I would love to come, but I would only be able to stay for 1 hour at most. I even mentioned this when she invited me. She acknowledged my concerns. Although she was a bit fussy about it, she did not deny it. I thought we were on the same page. The plan I made was to attend the arcade part at the mall, hang out for an hour, say happy birthday, and then leave. I did not even consider going to the restaurant that is an hour away because, logically, if I am only staying for an hour, I am not going to waste 2 hours for a round trip plus dinner. That simply does not make sense. However, apparently, that was not obvious to her. When I arrived at the arcade, she immediately started yelling at me because, according to her, I was supposed to show up at the restaurant because it will be more fun there. She barely spoke to me, took photos with every other friend except me, and engaged in full-on photo sessions right in front of me, basically ignoring me the whole time. I cried during the entire car ride home. It has been 2 months since this incident, and my finals are over. As a side note, I performed exceptionally well and received straight A's. Now I am confused. I genuinely thought I was being thoughtful. I rearranged my study schedule, showed up to celebrate her, and adhered to the boundary I had already communicated. However, she seemed to interpret my actions as me not caring or making her day about myself. So Reddit, am I the antagonist for leaving early from my best friend's birthday party after just an hour, even though I informed her beforehand and had finals to study for? It's wild how you're not the cause of this situation. You had school commitments and you still tried to make it work. Your friend was out of line for being rude, honestly. It's clear she didn't respect your priorities. I mean, most people would understand that studying comes first, right? If she's still feeling some type of way, she's not a true friend. It's really good that you focused on your grades instead. Keep your circle tight with those who support you. You did what you needed to do. Congrats on your As. Am I the jerk for not adopting my partner's dad's dogs after his passing? Hello, I never thought I would be here, but life has urged me in this direction. So am I the one in the wrong? My partner is 39 years old and I am 38 years old. We have been living happily together for 6 years, but his father recently passed away in an accident. We were devastated as we had a great relationship with him. He left behind 2 dogs, both retrievers, and my partner wants to take them in. I love my partner with all my heart and wish to support him while he mourns, but we have already discussed our life together, including the types of pets we were both comfortable with. We both liked cats, so we adopted a pair from a shelter years ago. They are perfect, and I cannot imagine our life any other way. I do not enjoy dog ownership. My parents have dogs, and I have never found them to be my preference. My partner knows this, yet he remains adamant and dismissive of my dislike for dogs now that his father has passed. I do love all animals and am kind towards the dogs when visiting, but I do not want to live with them. I do not feel compatible with them. I believe that other people's animals are their own responsibility and that no one else should be put into a position to care for them. I have told everyone I know that if we were to die, there would be no obligations to take in our pets, and I have only requested that they be provided with a loving home elsewhere. This situation was unforeseen and my partner's father was unable to arrange anything, but his passing does not change how I feel about dogs. In my opinion, my cats and I should come first, as that is what we agreed upon as a couple. I know my partner is going through a grieving process, especially since his father was a single parent to 3 boys and was an amazing person. However, even if I were somewhat comfortable with dogs, these particular dogs are not trained. They do not respond to commands, run around as they please, and feed off each other's bad habits. I do not believe our house is the right environment for them, nor are they the right fit for us. I would be willing to help find a family to take them in, potentially someone who would allow my partner to visit if keeping them accessible is important. My partner lashed out and called me unsupportive, even though I have been by his side comforting him since we received the news. I think he is being very short-sighted, and I do not believe I should feel selfish or be guilted into doing something I feel strongly against. I did not sign up for dogs. Taking them in would be a very frustrating and challenging undertaking, and my heart is simply not in it. My partner's brothers are also not willing to take in the dogs for similar reasons within their own families. One of his brothers thinks my partner is being unreasonable, while the other believes I am in the wrong and that since we are childless, we should be the ones to take them. However, my partner is not upset with them. The dogs are high energy and dependent, and I am already feeling tired. I worry that my home would no longer feel like a peaceful space for me. I do not believe we should have to compromise our happy life to accommodate someone else's choices. I do not think that is fair to our relationship. But my partner is convinced that I am the one in the wrong, so here I am. It's crazy how this is playing out. I mean, it sounds like your boyfriend's brothers have some pretty mixed opinions on the whole mess. One of them thinks he's being wild, while the other one is putting the blame on you. That's kind of straight up wrong, honestly. It's clear that dogs just aren't a good fit for your lifestyle right now. Your boyfriend wants to keep them, but it's obvious they need way more attention than he can give. If he expects you to take on most of the care, that's a big ask. Honestly, it might be worth considering living apart for a bit, just so he can see how much work those dogs really are. You've been super supportive of him, but that doesn't mean you should have to change your life for it. You deserve to have your needs met too. Just remember, you're not the bad guy in this mess. You're definitely not the cause of this situation for sure. Thanks for watching. When you subscribe, make sure to hit the bell to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. To finish listening to all the stories, check out the playlist in the description.